Life is full of unpredictable events, and sometimes our judgments about people and situations can be completely wrong. Today's story carries a powerful lesson about perception, fear, and the hidden truths we often fail to see. Once upon a time, a bus filled with passengers was making its way through a remote, dense forest. The atmosphere was tense as dark clouds loomed overhead. Thunder roared, lightning flashed across the sky, and heavy rain poured down relentlessly. The storm was getting worse by the minute, and the passengers could feel their anxiety rising. With the road stretching endlessly ahead and the jungle surrounding them, an unsettling thought took root in their minds. What if the lightning struck their bus? Would they all make it out alive? As fear spread among the passengers, the driver knew he had to act quickly. But what he decided to do next would change everything. The storm raged on, growing fiercer with every passing moment. Thunder crashed like an angry drumbeat in the sky, while flashes of lightning illuminated the dense forest. Heavy rain pounded against the bus, making visibility difficult and sending waves of unease through the passengers. Fear gripped their hearts as a terrifying thought took hold. What if the lightning struck their bus? Trapped in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by towering trees and an endless road, they felt utterly helpless. The driver, sensing their growing panic, made a sudden decision. He pulled over, stopping the bus about 50 feet from a tall tree, hoping to assess the situation and ensure their safety. But what happened next was something no one could have predicted. As the storm intensified, the driver turned toward the frightened passengers and made a shocking declaration. He believed that someone on the bus was destined to die that night, and that person's presence was putting everyone else at risk. To prove this, he proposed a test. Each passenger would step out, walk to the tall tree, touch it, and return. If the person marked by fate touched the tree, they would not come back, and the rest would be saved. The passengers were horrified. The idea of stepping out into the storm, exposing themselves to potential lightning strikes, felt like a death sentence. But their fear of the unknown left them with no other option. One by one, they prepared to face the test. The first passenger, trembling with fear, hesitantly stepped off the bus. Every drop of rain felt like a warning. Every step toward the tree felt heavier than the last. Holding his breath, he reached out, touched the rough bark, then quickly turned and ran back to the bus. To his relief, he was unharmed. Seeing him return safely gave the others a flicker of hope. Slowly, one by one, each passenger repeated the process, stepping into the storm, touching the tree, and hurrying back to the safety of the bus. Every time someone returned unscathed, tension eased slightly, but a new kind of fear began to take over. There was only one person left, and now, all eyes turned toward him. A hushed murmur spread through the bus. Whispers turned into accusations. "It must be you," someone muttered. "You're the one bringing misfortune upon us," another insisted. The last passenger, already paralyzed by fear, now found himself the target of blame. The driver, growing impatient, grabbed him by the shoulder and shoved him toward the door. "Go," he ordered. "Prove you're not the one putting us all in danger." The man's legs felt like stone as he stepped into the storm. Every clap of thunder sent chills down his spine. Rain poured down his face as he slowly approached the tree. His mind raced with dark thoughts. Maybe I really am the one destined to die tonight. But I don't want to die. I want to live. Heart pounding, he stretched out his shaking hand and touched the tree. He squeezed his eyes shut, bracing himself for the worst. But nothing happened. He was alive. A wave of relief swept over him as he turned and made his way back to the bus. The storm still raged, but he had survived the test. Just as he reached the door, a deafening roar of thunder shook the sky. Before anyone could react, a massive bolt of lightning struck the bus directly. In an instant, flames erupted, engulfing the vehicle in fire. The terrified screams of the passengers were swallowed by the roaring inferno. Within moments, the bus was reduced to ashes. The man stood frozen in shock. Tears streamed down his face as the horrifying realization sank in. He was never the one bringing danger to the group. In fact, his presence had been protecting them all along. The moment they cast him away, their fate was sealed. In times of crisis, people instinctively search for someone to blame. The passengers, overwhelmed by fear, assumed that the last man was the source of their misfortune. However, reality proved them wrong. He was actually their protector. This reminds us that the truth is not always what it seems, and hasty judgments can lead to devastating consequences. Fear has a way of clouding our judgment, making us act irrationally. Instead of thinking logically, the passengers let their panic drive their decisions. They turned against an innocent man, believing that getting rid of him would ensure their survival. But their fear pushed them to make the wrong choice, costing them their lives. This teaches us that prejudice and panic often lead to mistakes, and we must strive to see beyond our fears. In our journey through life, we often underestimate people who may be playing a crucial role in our well-being. The man who was cast out of the bus was not a burden, he was their shield. Similarly, in real life, the people we ignore or reject might be the ones protecting or helping us in ways we don't realize. This story urges us to recognize and appreciate the unique contributions of those around us. Judging others based on assumptions can lead to unnecessary harm. Instead of pushing people away out of fear, we should practice patience, empathy, and understanding. Just like the passengers misjudged the man and paid the ultimate price, we too might miss out on valuable relationships or help if we let prejudice guide our actions. True wisdom lies in looking beyond appearances and treating everyone with respect and compassion. This story serves as a powerful reminder that our judgments are not always accurate. In times of fear and uncertainty, it is easy to blame others without understanding the full picture. However, as we saw, the very person who was cast out was actually the one protecting everyone. Life is unpredictable, and we must be careful not to let fear or prejudice cloud our perception. Instead of pushing people away based on assumptions, we should learn to treat others with kindness, respect, and understanding. Every person has a role to play, and sometimes those we overlook or misunderstand may be the ones making the biggest difference in our lives. If this story touched your heart, share it with others. Let's spread this valuable lesson and encourage a world where people support and uplift one another rather than judge and exclude.